Welcome back to HH Wheels. My name's Caroline and I'm going to show you how to install a DIY headliner in your Volkswagen Beetle. As many of you may already know, I'm the proud owner of a 1974 Volkswagen Volksrad, the Speedle. 2 years ago, the first time the Speedle aired on our channel, I was getting it ready for a car show and kind of did a last-minute headliner situation. I used a giant piece of cardboard, some fabric, and some headliner bows and just made it happen. Now we're here, it's sagging and just getting worse, so it's time to replace it with something better. By no means is this anywhere near a stock headliner or a stock version of a headliner. I'm sure there are plenty of great videos out there for that and a lot of great upholsterers to do that professionally, but I'm doing my own DIY version that I've kind of adapted and I think really fits my car really well. So let's get wrenching. First, I'm gonna start with taking the seats out of my car to make this job a little bit easier. Fun fact about these seats, these actually came out of Chris's 1971 Torino. Somehow they ended up in my Beetle. Then I'm going to take the old headliner and headliner bows out so I can assess the quality of this fabric and hopefully it's still intact because it matches my entire interior. Oh, that was so bad. Okay,
You're calling that a headliner bow?
Yeah, these are stock. I had all of them actually. But I have currently utilized 3 to keep this from sagging because it's pretty saggy. Now's the crowning moment. I'm ready to take this damn thing out. It's just cardboard. Yeah. Got it. Oh.
You just turned the radio on.
Yeah, I did. Wow, there's so much more space in here. Not really, but. Now that the headliner's out, it's time to fit the Sound Deadener, and I was able to grab mine locally, and I recommend this stuff because it actually comes in headliner kits for a lot of cars. If you've ever heard of jute before, or like half-inch jute padding, that's pretty common, and I've seen a lot of muscle car headliners and stuff like that. We had it when we were doing James's headliner, a 68 Charger, and I was kind of hunting around, and I found out that it's pretty popular for flooring underlayment, and I was lucky enough to be able to contact a local guy who has a flooring company. I got my fabric from Walmart. It's just from like their Waverly collection, which is a fancier fabric collection that they offer there. More premium fabrics, and they offer them in single yard sections and 3-yard sections, and they have it all laid out based off of color tones and color choices. So if you want to hit those up, those are great. Just make sure you get a really thick, durable fabric, because if you use too much glue, you're probably going to see that glue through the fabric. So that's why I went with kind of a darker color with a little bit of a texture to it. I started by cutting my 10-foot roll into 2 5-foot sections. So to make it as simple as possible, I have my overall measurements as I measured twice and cut once. I'm gonna need roughly 57 inches wide, like 57 inches from the windshield to the back glass, basically, like for that whole portion, because I'm just doing it in the inset part of where the roof is. And then it's gonna be about 42 inches wide, and I know that's a little overcut because the exact measurements are obviously like an inch or 2 shorter than that, but I'd rather have too much than not enough. This is not what this is meant for, but I'm glad you're here for moral support. To give a little explanation as to what I'm doing here, I'm taking the overall length and splitting it in half. Therefore, I will have 2 sections to install, making my job a little bit easier. Once that's installed, although there will be a seam running down the middle, it should be fairly easy to conceal. So now that I have those 2 pieces cut, I went ahead and cleaned my roof really well. I went in here and cleaned it a couple times. You never know how much dust and dirt and dander and mold that can build up in here, so you want to make sure you have as clean of a surface as possible for your adhesive to stick. We are back in the car with a mask, a glove, I didn't think I needed a pair, I guess, and a piece of my old headliner to mask all this off. We're going to take our headliner adhesive. This is the Permatex Heavy Duty Automotive Headliner and Carpet Adhesive. The way these work is you have to spray a couple coats on and let it completely dry. Because it never actually dries. What it does is as it dries, it gets tackier. So what you have to do to every surface that's being adhesed, you have to spray it on, let it dry, spray it on, do another coat, let it dry, let it get nice and sticky, and do the exact same process to whatever you plan on sticking it to, which will be my padding. I definitely recommend doing this in 2 pieces, regardless of whether you're by yourself or not. So I'm going down the middle first with my hand, just kind of guiding it in place, making sure there's no air bubbles or lumps or bumps or anything like that. And I'm just kind of working my way from the middle out. I'm going to show you the quick tuck here. So I take the whole piece, even though it's kind of sticking up here, it doesn't matter, you can take some adhesive remover to remove it. But I take it and I fold it back up on itself and slide it in, like so, and it works its way down in. And again, if you can't fit your fingers in here, you can get a trim tool, like a plastic trim tool, to kind of push all the edges in, and I probably still will do that just to make sure it's got a nice bond all the way around. We are on day 2 of Speedle Headliner. It looks really good. I'm actually really impressed. So, as I mentioned before, this is not your conventional material to do this. I mean, it's very similar to what they put in headliner kits, but I'm very impressed. It's stuck up here really nice. It's time to coat this again, and then go ahead and coat the fabric. Let it sit, do 2 coats of that, and then put it in here. Yeah, this is gonna be interesting. Let's get wrenching. I did a really light coating on this. I'm gonna do quite a few light coats on this rather than like 1 heavy or 2 heavy coats, because I don't want it to soak through the fabric and be sticky on the outside, nor do I want it to show any kind of blotchiness. This is why I say if you do a darker fabric, or at least a thicker fabric, you're gonna have an easier time with this. It's gonna be more forgiving. This is turning out pretty good. The key to it though is definitely make sure your fabric's staying tight and work from the middle out, smooth it all out with your hand. All those little wrinkles in that plastic barrier have pretty much disappeared. I would credit that to the fact that I used a darker fabric, but also the thickness of this fabric.
What you know about good style, turning up with the cool crowd. When you want, we can get down. When you want, we can get loud, make our own sound.
Since I have so much excess fabric, I don't want to waste, because, you know, I may redo this headliner one day, or, you know, I just want extra coverage on some stuff. I'm just taking it and I'm folding it. It fits right into these little cavities really well, so I'm just going to fold it nicely and tuck it in there. Okay. Headliner's done. It looks awesome. It's really smooth. This came out really good. I'm so excited. It feels good. It looks good. Not sagging, and I feel like I gained like 2 inches of room up here because I didn't have that ugly sagging piece of cardboard. So I would call this a success. Well, I hope this video gave you a little bit of instruction and insight on how to do this. I think it turned out pretty darn good. I impressed myself. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave us a like, comment what you want to see us do next, get out there and get wrenching, and of course, don't forget to subscribe.
For the long ride.